Well, finally, it looks like the numbers for the Solo airdrop to XRP and Solo holders have finally been released. In fact, there was a whole report released from Bob Ross from Sologenic on Twitter. So I went and checked it out, and I'm going to tell you what the numbers show for Solo holders, XRP holders, and a little bit of what the related Corium snapshot has also showed. And I'm also going to tell you about some information that I dug up when looking at other airdrops that happened within the past year, what actually happened at airdrop time. And of course, the price of Bitcoin has recently tumbled once again down to as low as 42,400. Well, I'm going to tell you what actually caused it, because there's a lot of speculation going around, a lot of talk about what's happening in other countries, hash rate, all kinds of stuff, but I'm going to let you know what the markets are actually saying. And there's also some interesting speculation on a settlement for Ripple with the SEC, and I'm going to talk about it not in this video, but in my next one. But I just wanted to put a reminder out there for you guys to keep in mind, keep an eye out for the next video, because I'm going to talk about a really interesting timeline that was put out there by a Twitter user speculating on why there could be a settlement in January. Hey everyone, my name is Randy and welcome back to the Late Night Grind. Right now I'm covering the Ripple versus the SEC case, but I'm also covering cryptocurrency news, investment markets, personal finance. So if any or all those topics interest you, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Join the Late Night Grind community. Don't forget to hit that bell notification icon so YouTube will send you a notification when I release a new video. And of course, if you're feeling really generous today, I'd appreciate it if you do two things. Smash the thumbs up button and watch this video all the way to the end. Those really are the two best things you can do to support a YouTube channel. So with that, let's jump into it. So I want to start off on this video talking about what the price of Bitcoin is currently doing. It's currently hovering about 43,100, 43,200, somewhere in that neighborhood. It's up about $1,000 from yesterday when it actually crashed. So what actually caused the crash? Well, if you line it up with what happened with the rest of the world markets, specifically the Dow Jones and the S&P 500, it crashed right along with them at the end of the day. Well, what happened towards the end of the day? Well, the US Federal Treasury basically gave a head fake and alluded to the fact that they're going to be raising rates, raising interest rates, which a lot of economists are saying that's really something, kind of a stupid thing to do, because they're basically threatening to crash the economy, or at least make it far worse. Not only that, some of the unemployment numbers that came out the other day were really interesting, and that being the number of people that not just got laid off, but the number of people that quit. 4.5 million US workers actually quit their job. Were not just laid off, but quit their job in November. That's a really interesting statistic, and it's definitely worth a follow. But right along with that, a lot of people were speculating that Bitcoin actually crashed because of what happened in Kazakhstan. Now, if you're not following world news, basically what happened in Kazakhstan is the civilians are rising up against the tyrannical government. The government basically gave up, resigned, turned off the internet, turned off the lights, and walked out. Well, Kazakhstan is actually a huge country for Bitcoin mining. So right away, all the ISPs were basically turned off, and hence all the Bitcoin mining in that country was actually brought to a standstill. About 12% of the Bitcoin hash rate was actually gone almost instantly. So a lot of people are speculating that, well, because the hash rate was gone, that's why the price of Bitcoin fell. No, that has nothing to do with it. Hash rate is simply how strong the actual Bitcoin network is, how secure it is, and how many miners are actually participating in it, thus making it decentralized. That's essentially what hash rate is. The actual markets are determined what the price of Bitcoin is doing, not necessarily hash rate. Of course, it's always good to see hash rate going up. It means the Bitcoin network is very secure. But back to these markets. So what happened yesterday? Well, once Bitcoin actually dropped about 0.5% to 1%, there was a liquidation cascade that took place, and over the course of about a 6-hour time span, over $800 million of Bitcoin was liquidated. There was that much open interest, that much leveraged longs, that if a price dropped even 1%, these traders that were trading with Bitcoin were liquidated. Now, that begs the question, how much leverage are these traders actually using that a 1% drop would actually cause a cascade like this? Talk about a gamble. Just goes to show you that there are a lot of people still betting on the fact that they believe that Bitcoin has a huge upside for the rest of this year. And of course, it affected everything else right along with it. Alts got slaughtered. In fact, altcoins got slaughtered even more than Bitcoin yesterday. Now, some people are saying this is the alt season. This is the start of alt season. Bitcoin dominance is about 39.6 to 40%. And Bitcoin dominance would essentially have to crash for the rest of the altcoin market to take off, meaning people are taking their money out of Bitcoin, putting it into altcoins. That's not happening yet. altcoins were still getting slaughtered. Now, some of them are in the green today. Ethereum is actually down. It's one of the bigger drops that actually happened since yesterday and today. So if you look at the on-chain data, well, that points to the fact that there is just less and less Bitcoin actually available to buy on exchanges. CoinGlass actually came out with a statistic for 2021 that Bitcoin whales, or long-term holders, acquired over $112 billion worth of Bitcoin in 2021. And not only that, the actual mining that's going on, the miners that are holding Bitcoin and earning Bitcoin as their rewards are not selling. So that begs the question, if there is less and less and less Bitcoin on exchanges to actually buy, then when can we expect an upturn? And that is a $1 trillion question. Let me know in the comment section below if you have any thoughts on that. Okay, so now let's talk about the snapshot that took place, the Sologenic snapshot that took place on December 24th for Solo and XRP holders. Now, the numbers have already been produced on Twitter. I've actually retweeted it. You can go check out my timeline. If you want to check out the full report there, I actually retweeted that as well. So what the numbers came in did not make a lot of people holding XRP very happy, but you kind of have to do the math. There was only 100 million tokens to go around. Meanwhile, 22 billion XRP were actually captured in the snapshot. So there are a lot of XRP holders actually jumping on these snapshots to get free tokens. So what did that come out to? Well, that basically means that for every XRP you hold, you will get 0.0044 Solo tokens. Well, it doesn't sound like a lot. In fact, if you hold 1,000 XRP, you'll get a whole 4.4 Solo tokens. But for Sologenic holders, it of course means a lot more. That ratio came out to 1.24 Solo tokens will be given for every 1 Solo token that you currently held at the time of snapshot. So if you held 1,000 Solo tokens at the time of snapshot, you will be getting 1,240 Solo tokens in the January 20th airdrop. If you did or didn't buy Solo, well, you might make out pretty well, or you may have not, depending on if you even want to sell it at all. I believe Solo is more of a long-term project for me. I'm definitely going to be tracking it throughout the year, as well as the new Layer 1 blockchain that they're producing, Corium. And I think they knew a little bit about decentralization and interoperability, because remember in my last video I said the Sologenic development team actually has 2 former Ripple employees on their advisory board. So before I get into what could happen in terms of the price of Solo after the actual airdrop date, I'm going to quickly talk about what the Corium snapshot also showed. So the Corium snapshot, which is the new Layer 1 blockchain from the Sologenic development team that is being launched in 2022, they did a snapshot on December 24th, right around the same time that the Solo snapshot took place. And this was the first of 13 snapshots. So remember, if you hold a Solo token, you'll be getting a snapshot every single month throughout 2022. Every single month, a snapshot takes place. Every single month, you'll be receiving core tokens. Well, the first snapshot, there was 66 million Solo tokens captured in that snapshot, which means there is a total of 0.1148 core tokens will be given for every Solo token you have. So if you have 1,000 Solo tokens, next month, you'll be receiving approximately 115 core tokens. But that will be on a monthly basis. As long as you hold your Solo tokens, you'll be receiving core tokens on a monthly basis. Now, some people plan on getting rid of them as soon as they can. Other people are planning on holding it throughout the year because they're anticipating the NFT marketplace launching in January, the tokenized securities exchange getting ready to launch hopefully sometime this spring, and then of course Corium launching its mainnet in sometime in the late summer or early fall of 2022. And it was interesting reading an article about Corium that was recently featured in Forbes, and they talked about it as the Ethereum killer. They mentioned it several times. But the thing is, there's a lot of other ecosystems that were also labeled an Ethereum killer, like Solana, for instance. But here's the thing. The biggest Ethereum killer in my mind was Ethereum. And if you watch this channel, you know that they are in for some rough times if the mainstream media catches on to what all these XRP YouTubers have been talking about with the Ripple versus the SEC case. But before I get into too much of that, I wanted to give my speculation as to what actually is going to happen to the value of Solo token after airdrop time. So, I did some research about a month ago on 4 other airdrops that took place in 2021. What happened at snapshot time to the price, if any, and what happened at airdrop time to the price, if any. And from what I found, during or just after snapshot time, if it was available, that was generally the biggest price movements of the tokens. Drops of anywhere from 30 to 50, even 75% happened. In the case of Solo, about a 75% drop happened. Now, of course, it's corresponding with with what Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto market has been doing. However, at the time of airdrops, it looks a little bit different. Now, specifically these 4 airdrops I looked at, there was an average drop after the airdrop of about 10 to 15%. That is not much compared to what people were actually expecting. Because Solo has already been trading, it's already had a history of trading, In my opinion, I don't think we're going to see a drastic price movement after airdrop, especially if it's anywhere under the $2 to $3 range at the time of airdrop. But let me know your opinion in the comments section below, as well as on Twitter. So that's going to be it for today's video, but like I said, keep an eye out for my next video because I'm going to be exploring why some people think January is the month that Ripple and the SEC will settle. And it's based on some meetings that are being set up, who's actually attending those meetings, and when. It's really, really interesting stuff. So keep an eye out for that next video. And of course, thank you so much for watching this one all the way to the end, for giving it a big thumbs up. And if you are not already subscribed to the Late Night Grind community, I'd appreciate it if you consider subscribing. All right, guys, as always, I'll see you guys on the next video.